It's in the plan.
But here's this thing about reality for a second. First of all, let's talk about Medicare.
But Senator, hang on, John. So it's not a Democratic talking point. It's in the plan.
Every day since the election, the left-wing activists in Broward County have been coming up with more and more ballots out of nowhere. We all know what is going on. Every person in Florida knows exactly what is happening. Their goal is to keep mysteriously finding more votes until the election turns out the way they want.
Partido Demócrata de Joe Biden se ha convertido en el Partido Socialista.
No, I'm fed up. I watched what happened to me and my company. I've watched what's happened. I've talked to business people over the years, what's happened to them when you have political persecution. And now what I've watched what President Trump has done with all these cases. This is just simply, they don't want this guy on the ballot. They can go after any one of us if they want to, and you do not have the resources to do it. They can go after the former president, they can go after you.
Apparently, in his past, he suffered the same sort of lawfare that poor Donnie Trump is experiencing. And we looked into it and discovered, oh my God, this guy actually has a pretty sordid past, Rick Scott. Did you know that he oversaw the largest Medicare fraud in America's history? Well, if you've been watching TYT for a while, you probably do, because Cenk loves to talk about it, and we're going to. Because Rick Scott broke one of, I guess the only real rules of politics is don't talk about the crimes you've committed. Don't remind people of your scandal. If you committed Medicare fraud, then just hide that in your past. Don't talk about it.
That would raise taxes on half of Americans and potentially sunset programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Why would you propose something like that in an election year? It's in the plan.
But here's this thing about reality for a second. First of all, let's talk about Medicare.
But Senator, hang on, John. So it's not a Democratic talking point. It's in the plan.
Rick Scott's been trying to destroy Medicare for a long time. He committed the largest Medicare fraud in American history when he was CEO of a healthcare company. And if you think that's an exaggeration, you can go ahead and look it up. Just Google it, you'll see. In fact, it was the largest fraud against the American government at that point. But Republicans don't look at criminals, as mainly white collar criminals, and think bad guy. They think smart, savvy guy who knows how to rob us blind. Oh, please take my money, sir.
Every Floridian should be concerned there may be rampant fraud happening in Palm Beach and Broward counties. And the Broward Supervisor of Elections, Brenda Snipes, has a history of acting in absolute bad faith. I will not sit idly by while unethical liberals try to steal this election from the great people of Florida. Every day since the election, the left-wing activists in Broward County have been coming up with more and more ballots out of nowhere. We all know what is going on. Every person in Florida knows exactly what is happening. Their goal is to keep mysteriously finding more votes until the election turns out the way they want.
It's amazing how much they cry, right? Because right now, nothing's been called. Nothing has been officially called. The only thing that's happening right now is the state of Florida has seen that there have been a number of races that are too close to call, and they're counting the votes. They're recounting to ensure that the right person who the people of Florida voted for gets into office. But they don't want that. They keep trying to cheat. They keep trying to pass so-called voter ID laws, even though there have been no cases of voter fraud, because they know that their ideas are not popular. They draw up districts to their advantage through gerrymandering because they know that their ideas are not popular.
Partido Demócrata de Joe Biden se ha convertido en el Partido Socialista. Nuestro país merece algo mejor. Queremos 4 años más. 4 años más.
I don't know what's scarier to them though. Socialism or that version of Spanish, because that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, look.
Why do they do it, Jake? Why do they do it? They're not expecting you to speak Spanish. So why go out of your way if you know that you don't speak Spanish well? Why do you do it? And that goes for Democrats as well. At least Democrats, when they try to pull out the Spanish during the first presidential debate, I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, Beto O'Rourke spoke pretty well. I mean, he had the right accent. He didn't sound like a clown like Governor Rick Scott did. I don't know. That's my only take on it, really.